Hey everyone, this is Player One, and I'm coming to you with a first impressions review of Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. So this game takes place in a new world based on the original SAO called Sword Art Origin, created 3 years after the original anime takes place. If you're just jumping into the series, don't sweat it. There are plenty of moments that help you get caught up within the story. I do recommend you at least check out the first season of SAO so you can truly enjoy interacting with all the characters. This world takes place in one large map instead of the different floors found in the original SAO, while the story revolves around a mysterious 14-year-old AI and finding out what is going on with the different NPCs in the game, as they seem to be different than before. There are some interesting customization options, like making your character female or male, changing individual eye colors and height, along with other character adjustments like adjusting weight and bust size. This is a weird decision, as no matter how you customize your character, all the dialogue and cinematics will have a male Kirito voice and image. If you have played previous Sword Art Online games like Hollow Fragment or the re-release of Re-Hollow Fragment, then you have a pretty good idea of what you're in for. Like before, you have the main areas to explore and complete quests, and hub towns where you can buy items, talk to other NPCs, and accept new quests. The gameplay tries to mimic an MMORPG, with some success but many significant failures. When you go out to complete quests, you can take up to 3 other party members. There are supposedly around 300 different NPCs you can take with you on your journey, which is kind of cool, but I think most people will stick to the characters they recognize from the anime and previous games, especially considering you have to level them up. The battle system is somewhat improved from the original Hollow Fragment, but overall is still a bit shallow. You can still give your party defense orders like having them heal or block, along with the SAO staple of switching and group attacks. The praise system is back, which allows you to let your partner know what they did well, which will ultimately lead to them repeating whatever action you praised in the future. The AI for your party is not very good, especially in the first few hours. As you use the praise feature, it gets better, but don't expect anything too amazing from them. They will stand right in front of enemies and just take damage without evading most of the time. So just keep an eye on their health and command them to heal often. However, it's really not a big deal, as the combat throughout the game is usually pretty easy. Along with the typical things like choosing upgrades and changing your equipment, you can also level it up by visiting blacksmiths within the towns, who you can help increase their level, leading to the possibility of having specialized skills and bonuses available for your weapons. Apart from the typical RPG gameplay, which involves collecting and upgrading items, quests, and grinding, there is a significant amount of visual novel type gameplay. You will read a lot in the game, and although the dialogue is fully voiced in Japanese, it can sometimes be a bit overwhelming, especially considering the translation isn't great. For the most part, what you read is at least similar to what the Japanese voice is saying, but you will run across some odd sentences and obvious flawed grammar and spelling. Not a huge deal, just know that everything isn't translated that well. During these scenes, most of the action takes place off screen, so be prepared to use your imagination. This is a bit disappointing, as just a bit of animation could have really helped with storytelling, especially considering how long some of the scenes span. But again, if you're used to visual novels, it's par for the course. Graphically, well, if you have played a previous Sword Art Online game, you know they're just not good. The environments are incredibly generic and enemies are just bland. However, I do appreciate the higher frame rate, which doesn't quite reach 60 FPS, but is higher than the typical 30 FPS while out exploring. This is not the case for the towns, however. The relationship system is also back, and it's still a pretty shallow feature. You can date NPCs and carry them up into your hotel room for a bit of fan service, but don't get too excited, it's strictly PG-13. Although the story is pretty interesting, it can drag quite a bit, so don't expect the urge to find out what's going to happen next. Those who get through the game will do so mostly because they enjoy the world of SAO and can stomach the repetitive combat and ridiculous amount of fetch quests. The art style is beautiful, however, so if you like anime, that's one aspect of the game that you will love. So what's the verdict? Simply put, wait for a deep sale. This installment of the SAO game franchise is more of the same, with some mild improvements in the combat system and graphics, but still a very generic and, most importantly, boring game. Unless you're a die-hard fan of SAO and have loved the previous games, I think you can wait for a significant sale or maybe even skip it altogether. I haven't talked about the content. That's one place where the game shines. There's a lot of content, but keep in mind, quantity doesn't equate to quality. If that content is many more fetch quests, that may not be worth it. So consider that. Ironically, the collector's edition, which you can see the unboxing of in my channel, is awesome. I loved it. It's been one of my favorite collector's editions in the recent years. So you may want to take a look at it for your collection. Just know that the main aspect of the collector's edition is the game, and it's not worth the full price of admission. Alright, hope you enjoyed this first impressions review. Please leave me any comments you have below or questions. Also take some time and look at our other reviews and see some of the other quirky things we have going on our channel. Thanks for watching.